Outsourcing to the wrong partner is an existential mistake in many cases. We have seen in M&A work recently, just in the last year, one of my investor equity clients has had 4 portfolio companies go out of business within 4 years of acquisition or investment because big amounts of technical debt were accumulated and identified, and they didn't pay it down. They didn't address it, and that eventually kills you. Where did that technical debt come from? It's not always outsourced, but if you're picking your outsourced partners because they're cheaper, that's probably where it came from. If you're outsourcing to a cheap team to make architecture decisions, and you're going to end up with expensive rewrites. You know, we could end up with knowledge silos where critical system knowledge was trapped with that external team, kind of creating a dependency on them. Not even just in the fact that they're experts at that one thing, but they could have just made a system messy and complicated that only the guy who wrote it knows how to work on it. That's the class that we see a lot. Outsourcing to the wrong partner, if they're not good communicators, the communication overhead, constant clarification, language barriers, reworking, that's not what I meant, misaligned expectations, that stuff just eats into your productivity. You think you're getting a cheap rate, but you're paying for it in that overhead, sometimes even more. And we find that if you're going to outsource, it's not just language and time zone, it's, are they clear communicators? Are they transparent? Do they manage a work log tracker or fit with your methodology? Are they transparent? The wrong partner is going to cost you if they're not doing those things. Quality control could be a burden. This especially comes into the play with AI these days. If you say, hey, every line of code that comes from this outsourced team, I have to code review it with my internal guys because I can't fully trust them because they're the wrong partner in this question. You could get 10,000 lines of code a day with a prolific, massive team. And how are you going to code review 10,000 lines of code a day with your small expert team? So outsourcing to the wrong partner that still requires you to do too much work, I think is another hidden cost. You know, cultural misalignment sometimes happens. A lot of people hire a cheaper outsourced development team. And one of the things they may not realize is one of the reasons they're cheaper is because they're going to be yes men. They don't understand your business context, your market, your domain. They don't care to learn it. They just want you to tell them what to do and they'll do it. If you didn't tell them to test it, they didn't test it. If you didn't tell them to make it scalable, they didn't make it scalable. And just a cultural misalignment. If you have a strong development culture and a business culture, you need partners that can align to that. And a lot of the wrong partners fit into that category where they just do the same thing over and over again. They don't care how you're different. And another thing that I can say is, especially with offshore when we're in other time zones, is just, you know, this hidden management costs that I mentioned. You probably, at any scale, are going to need to hire internal managers just to manage the outsourced team. When we see outsourced offshore teams working well, it's because the companies have invested a lot in that management. You know, you might look at the price tag of that outsourced team and think that, you know, you're getting a cheap deal, but you also have to look at the total cost of ownership that you're going to require with internal management. And the wrong partner just makes that a nightmare. You know, I've come in and rescued clients from bad partners like that all the time. I mean, we've seen it where the outsourced team just kept all the code in their own Git repo, so they couldn't even fire them without risk of them walking away with my IP. Good partners give you those good playbooks, those good, you own everything we make, and we get it started right out of the gate. So lots of things can go wrong with the wrong outsourcing partner.